Good morning, everybody. We got two things to talk about today that are incredibly important. I don't care who you are, what you're doing in life, these things you need to listen to. And both hit very close to home currently, so we got to talk about it. We also have this beautiful Bronco that we're going to do a running, driving, operating video that's about half the price of what it should be, and it's about half the price of what it would be if it's a Blazer. Then we got the 4Runner to do as well. So we got a lot to knock out today, plus some projects, plus some new square bodies, plus a little bit of craziness. But let's go ahead and get into it. I got a call late yesterday, and I already knew, probably need to be around this way, don't we? I already knew it was not going to go that well. I got a text message that led to a phone call, and it was a friend slash customer slash also dealer that said, I need your help, JW. I got scammed. And I wasn't really able to be much help to him. Unfortunately, I was probably the one that told him the bad news that he didn't want to hear. But he's just lost close to $50,000, and he's never going to see it again. It's gone. It's gone for good. And then the second thing, before I get too long-winded on this first thing, is insurance. If you're a homeowner, if you're a renter, or if you own a modified vehicle, this is something else we got to talk about because people are forgetting it. We've had 3 close customers have bad fire situations. 2 lost their homes. 1 might as well have lost his home, lost a lot of precious things in a garage fire that also damaged his home and his neighbor's home. So we got to get into all that. And there's some things I need to tell you guys, or I want to tell you guys, that you probably haven't ever thought of. No different than if you have a nicely restored truck or an accessorized 4Runner, or heck, even a tow vehicle. There's some things that I guarantee you guys are not thinking about that only cost pennies to do. And I'm not selling you any of this. I'm not soliciting any of this. I'm just trying to give you guys good advice. But it does break my heart, and it was heavy on me yesterday evening. Christian overheard part of it, and he said, man, that was a friend of yours, wasn't it? Because I get to call all the time. But this one hit really close to home. Not that anybody losing their money isn't bad, but this one, he even said, he said, Jeb, I was smarter than that. I should have known better. He said, but I did everything I was supposed to do. So here's how it went. He buys some stuff from me. I buy some stuff from him. Again, he's a dealer. It's a much smaller scale. But he said, I wanted a Super Duty, pull my boat around. He said, I found one. He said, I looked at what you had, JW. Everything you had was just nicer than what I needed. He said, I found one, I ran the numbers online, and it was a few thousand cheaper than most everything else. And it was in Florida. Florida's a good area to buy a vehicle. They don't have a lot of rust. They do have a lot of floods, though. This could have gone that way, which I thought might have happened, but it didn't, because they do have a lot of floods. You've got to be careful for flood vehicles. They're just as bad as being scammed. He reached out to the dealer. He got the VIN number. He ran an auto check in Carfax. He physically even talked. That's normally where this goes bad. It's usually emails or text messages. He physically talked to the man. It was everything he wanted. He had a copy of the title. So this is where it gets scary. He got on a 3-way call with this man's bank, his bank, because he's ready to wire the money. It was just shy of $50,000. They exchanged information on the 3-way call. He even heard the person at the bank say, sir, could you verify your last transaction? Yes, it was $12,682. At that point, you know, everything seems pretty freaking good. He's like, okay, make the transfer. Wire transfer, money gone. Soon as he started to try to arrange transportation, as soon as he reached back out again, nothing. He even found this vehicle on a website. Website's gone. Phone number's disconnected. He's working with his bank to work with the fraud department at the other bank. But a wire is just like me taking money out of my pocket and handing it to AJ. It's out of my hands into his. He can turn around and run. It's gone. I told him his best bet is that. He said, I'm talking with my buddy that has some connections to the FBI and some other agencies. And I said, man, that's great. It's not going to go anywhere. I've got a stack by my desk that's probably this high. of fraud emails. I don't even print them anymore. Fraudulent checks that have been sent in, mailed in, scams, folders with information where people have tried to scam both ways on the buying and the selling side. It's just terrible. And at the end of the conversation, something that struck with me was, he said, JW, I shouldn't have been a tight ass. I should have just said, let me spend a little more money and deal with somebody that I knew that I actually was going to receive the product. A real brick and mortar place such as yourself. I'm not telling everybody to deal with us, but if you got somebody in your state or your county or your city and you're comfortable with them, don't be afraid to spend a few extra dollars to pick up this truck or pick up this 4Runner or pick up this van or pick up the Colorado or pick up whatever. Because look at the difference now. He could have saved 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter at this point. His money's gone. And he was extremely upset. He said, David, this was my nest egg. He said, this was money I had saved. I had said I did not want a payment on a car, and I got screwed. So I always teach due diligence. I always check. He did everything he was supposed to do except for check a little bit further. This dealership never existed. Somebody just took the time to sit at their computer and make this Auto Sales USA or whatever the name of the place was website. Put this vehicle on there, put the VIN number on there. Somehow they pirated a fake copy of a title. They took the time. And he's like, why did they do that? How can they take all that time to do that? And when I told him what I told him, it all made sense. I said, look, he took whatever, 2 or 3 days, maybe a week, to gather all this stuff up, put it on there, go get a burner phone, get a phone number put on the website, make it all look proper. You are not the only one that this scam happened to. It probably happened to 50 or 60 people. Multiply that number. Let's just say it happened to 10. The man just got $500,000 for free for his week's worth of effort or whatever it takes. It might not even take a full day to set all that crap up. He opened a fake bank account. He closed the bank account. It wasn't fake, it was real. But you can open an account, you can close an account. All this stuff is real world, guys, and it is happening every single day. And I hate that it happened to my man. I hate that it happens to customers that call us all the time. I told him about something he never heard of it. And again, he's in the business. We put our watermark on our vehicles now. If you look at our pictures on our website, it says Davis 4x4 phone number. One, that's good so you can find us. You don't have to scroll to the top of the website. But people pirate our pictures. We also took our VIN number down. We were one of the last dealers to still have our number posted, our VIN number posted. We had to take it down because so many people were pirating the information, making fake things. We've had customers call and say, especially before the watermark, but especially after, because people forget to take that off. Hey, I'm getting ready to send some money to your Florida location. I know I found this truck on your website too, but it's cheaper at your Florida location. I'm like, sir, we don't, or ma'am, a lot of times it's ma'am, we don't have a Florida location. Oh, I just talked to John, yada, 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 or Bob, yada, 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 at your Florida location, and I know you've got it posted for 50, but they got it down there for 35 because y'all were getting it marked just for wholesale, and that's where you send your wholesale vehicles. Or whatever the story is. It's always a different story. We don't have a Florida location. Please do not send any money anywhere. Now, of course, at that point, they look at us badly. I'm like, look, we didn't do this. I'm not getting your money if you sent it. And a few of them had sent deposits in the past. Some people sent money. It's unfortunate. It's just a big, big, big world we live in with a lot of scams. So sorry to have to go over that one so much. I'm excited about this Bronco. This is a Gen 3, excuse me, it's a Gen 4. I keep saying Gen 3. This is a Gen 4 Bronco with a beautiful bright blue, white two-tone, brand new BF Goodrich tires, dual shocks, went through a professional restoration process, and was not a rust bucket. Now, this Bronco belonged to a local customer, and he reached out. It was his father's. He actually sold us 2 vehicles. And he said, Jebby, my father said whenever he passed, I want the truck to go to a good set of hands. He said, I'm not dealing with all the crazy people out there. You can find that right set of hands. I said, yes, sir, we can. So I was happy to purchase it from them. Did everything he said. He came in, he dealt with mom. He was like, this was the nicest, most proper transaction ever. He was very thankful. He had his title proper, because when somebody dies, you can't just take the title out of the safe and go sell it. You have to go through probate and processes and all that to make sure it's right. He had done that. We helped him with that process. Everything was good. So again, another big problem, guys. Do not buy from a death situation if it hasn't gone through the proper protocol of probate and or having the death certificate and the will and everything else in place, because that piece of paper may not be any good. Even though it's in front of you and you have the vehicle, it does you no good if it doesn't work. So this truck will be going up for sale. Me and Christian will be doing a walk around, because Christian's the Bronco guru, but it is a Gen 4. A lot of people ask, what does the Gen mean? Generation 1, Generation 2, Generation 3, Generation 4. I think generation of Broncos goes to 7 currently. But each body style change becomes a generation. You hear it mostly with Camaros, Gen 2 Camaro, Gen 1 Camaro, and Dodges. Dodges trucks are very popular to be called that. So we got Gen 4, 4th body style of Bronco. You had the brick nose before this. You had a Gen 2, which we have one of. Where's that truck at? Express?
White one? No,
white and green.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a Gen 2, and then we have a Gen 1 in showroom 1, which is the baby Bronco, we call it. So on topic number 2 that we got to get to today. If you have a vehicle such as this, if you have a new Super Duty that's lifted, oh, look at that beautiful square body coming in. Man, look at that stuff on there. That's a nice load right there. Shoo-wee! Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A couple of nice units arriving. So, subject number 2. We've had 3 people with fire situations recently. 2 lost their homes completely. 1 is our polish guy. You guys were involved with that. Thanks for all that helped with that. He was a renter. He did not have the proper rental insurance in place. So not only did he lose his home, he lost all his contents and got nothing out of it. His landlord, I'm sure had insurance, so that'll be taken care of, but he's still displaced. He still lost everything for him and his kids. Terrible situation. Always have renter's insurance. It's not a must, it's a need, but it really is a must. So I require it for all my tenants. I would suggest if you're a landlord to require it also, and make sure it stays current and make sure you're listed. That way, if they skip on it or don't pay it, you know, because again, it's not your responsibility, but it could turn bad. Secondly, the other 2, one lost a garage with some contents that can't be replaced. The other lost his home with some contents that can't be replaced. Fire insurance, if you read through your fine lines, it's very minuscule. The garage fire, he had a certain dollar amount on contents. Well, he had a couple classic vehicles. He had wheels and tires for classic vehicles. He had lawnmowers and machinery and all kinds of other things. And don't quote me on this, but I think his other items covered, other than the structure was covered for replacement cost. That's another gray area. You might have it set up for $75,000. If you bought your house 10 or 15 years ago, you can't replace it for $75,000. It might be $150,000 to replace that structure. It just depends on how your thing reads. Thankfully, his was replacement cost. He's going to get the structure rebuilt. But I believe his other contents value was $5,000. Again, don't quote me on that to the penny, but I believe that's what it was. The classic vehicles, if they were licensed and on the road, could have been covered, but by his auto insurance, but they weren't. He didn't drive them. They just were parked there. So this man has probably lost $100,000 in vehicles, contents, tires, wheels, other things, tools, machinery. And I believe the way it was left off, he's basically getting $5,000. which is heartbreaking. Now, you know, you live and learn, but it's better to learn from others' mistakes. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys. The man that lost his house, he had some valuables. And those valuables, you know, again, in your policy, you might have valuables, which would be coins, collector cards, gold, silver, you know, whatever it is. I guarantee it's a small amount. And some of you guys, if you've got a gun collection, knife collection, heck, I've got things from my grandparents and great-grandparents that are heirlooms that are invaluable to me. They have no price that they could be replaced with. But if you don't have those things in there, they're never going to be replaced, and they can't be replaced. So that's a whole different deal. But make sure you have the dollar amounts. It's pennies to add 10,000. Heck, in some cases, it's only dollars to add 100,000. Make sure you do it. It's just going to take a couple phone calls. You need to do it. On vehicles, it's no different. Let's take this Jeep over here, for example, or this Toyota. We'll use either one of them. Let's just say this Toyota has a base book value of 20 grand. And you were to get in an accident. Say you ran into a tree. They're going to probably give you 20 grand. This Toyota, sun's funny this morning, ain't it? This Toyota has $20,000 in upgrades. They're not going to pay you for that. They're going to pay you what the vehicle is worth. Hey, Christian. I can't smell you from over here. The wind's going the other way. No, that'd be okay if you don't. Yeah. He's probably walking across the street to hide. Same deal. You can get accessory and upgrade insurance through your insurance company to add on to the vehicle for pennies on the dollar. That way, if this truck is totaled, you're not going to want to buy a stock Toyota and spend 20 grand again. You have a hard time finding a stock Toyota for 20 grand, much less being able to replace your vehicle and then replace your add-ons. Stereo equipment. If your vehicle's broken into, they're going to cover the cost to replace a factory stereo, not your $10,000 in subwoofers and everything else. That's been going on forever. But tires, wheels, lift kit, accessories, whatever. If the vehicle's totaled, it's gone. Sometimes they'll allow you to take parts off. I mean, what are good of those parts? If you take them off, you might have a bent wheel that you don't know about. You might have a shock with a bent shaft. You don't know. So saving the stuff is not always as good as it cracked up to be. Make sure to add the extra coverage. If you have ATVs, Binky, great friend and customer of ours, one of the world's best ATV collections and ATC collections. He has every unit insured. Takes time. He's got to have the VIN number. He's got to have the value to replace it. But he's taking the time to do that. So he's insured in case of fire, in case of theft. Everything that you might take for granted. If you have a tractor, a lot of people say, oh, my tractor's covered by my homeowners. Maybe it is. But what if you take it to your hunting land to cut a path and it gets stolen? It's not on your property. It's not on your homeowners any longer. Your $30,000, $20,000, $50,000, $80,000 tractor is gone. So I know some of y'all are smart and you're already on top of this, but I guarantee 90% of y'all have never thought about this. Please comment below that you listened and that you paid attention so that I'm not just wasting my breath on these things, because I'm telling you, a little bit of due diligence for the scams, a couple phone calls to your insurance company. Yes, you're going to spend more money, but what's $10 per month to cover $20,000 worth of accessories? I'm not an insurance guy, I don't know. But what's $50 a year extra on your homeowners to cover from $5,000 to $50,000? I don't know what you got in your garage. I don't know if you even care. But I can assure you, the man that lost his garage, the two men that lost their house, I'm talking all this stuff in the last 90 days, close to home, very close to home, are super sick to themselves of what's gone on. And they could have spent a little extra time and effort to do better, but they don't think about it. You're busy. The one man rides, he's on the road all the time. The other man owns a business. The other man owns a business also. We stay busy. I'm slacking on some of my stuff. I need to make a phone call today or an email today. But You just got to do it. So please, guys, take the time with your tow trucks. You got a lot of equipment. You got dollies. You got other things. You just need to make sure that you're covered. Square body trucks. That square body truck gets damaged and you don't have a stated value policy or the proper insurance coverage, what do you think they're going to think an 80 Chevrolet pickup's worth? A couple $3,000? It doesn't even have a book value. What's it worth? $2 or $3 grand. You're going to have to fight to prove to them that you had a $40,000 or $50,000 truck, because when it's all mangled up, it looks like every other piece of crap truck. You're going to have to prove it. And if they even give a crap, a lot of times they stamp, done. You can come get your beat up wrecked truck if you want. We'll give it back to you, but we're only giving you $3 or $4 grand. Make sure to buy the right coverage. Make sure to take time to do it, or I pretty much guarantee you're going to regret it in the end. So on to some more fun. We'll get to the 4Runner. We'll get to the Bronco. We've got 3 or 4 square bodies that we may or may not get to today. If we don't, we'll get to them tomorrow. We got the Raptor getting ready to ship out. We got the 80 square body in the back getting ready to be finished up. We got the 4x4 van from yesterday that just finished up in service. So we got a lot of fun. We got a lot of good stuff. And we might even make it down to the shop because there are a couple projects going on I'd love to catch up on. We'll update you guys in a little bit. All right, so here's your thumbnail from today. This truck is getting the 2.0 package. This will be the second truck for this customer with a 2.0 package. You guys saw Olive Oil a while back, same owner. He reached out right after getting the Olive Oil back and said, JW, that tan and brown truck, the 1980 square headlight that you sold me, has got to get a 2.0 package. And I was like, that's fine. We'll get it on the schedule. We helped him transport it here. Daniel has everything in stock ready to go. Jake and Brian and Johnny are going to jump on getting it done. And we got my man William in the background polishing stuff up. Got his crew with him today, and he is getting the wheels that are going on this truck polished to a perfection. So it's going to look great. 2.0, 12-inch lift, crossover steering, crossover track bar design from Davis Off-Road. The 16-wide wheel, 40-inch bogger. He is staying with 6-lug. A lot of people go harp on you should do 8-lug. Well, that's okay. He doesn't use the truck enough to worry about it. He's not going to break an axle. He's not going to have a problem. He's not going doing burnouts. He's an adult. But this was a great truck. This also is a truck, if you guys are faithful followers, that at the last minute before going to Bloomsburg Jamboree, he said, JW, I'll take that brown truck. He just had bought another truck from me. No, take that back. He came back and bought another truck the week after. He was looking at a different truck that I sold. He missed out on. He said, Jeb, if you can make that brown truck happen, I'll send you the money. Bring it to Bloomsburg, please. I want to show it off. We accommodated. He sent the money. We took it to Bloomsburg. He showed it off. Again, when you're selling somebody something for the first time, you don't know what their expectations are. This was a great truck. He got around it. He looked at it. He was already in our booth looking at things. When we literally rolled up with the truck, he was like, dude, love it. Going to do more business. And sure enough, doing more business. So that's going to turn out really cool. It's a great looking truck. I don't know if it's unlocked or not, but a bucket seat with console, 1980 square headlight, Cordova brown, buckskin interior. This was a really freaking cool truck. And it's going to be a pleasure to do it in the shop because it was very clean underneath. So things are going to come apart nicely. You can already see the nice hardware and everything underneath. So I'm sure you guys saw this in the background. The elephant that's been in the room. It's actually been in showroom 1, not in the room. But a 16-inch lift on 44s, which will eventually become the Davis 3.0 package. Inside the shop, they're actually designing the parts currently. And we decided, you know what, let's get this truck out. Let's take it to a show this weekend, possibly. It still needs some nook and cranny things done. But while we're in there building the kit to be similar to this, we're going to improve upon this truck to make it as good as it should be, to be a 16-inch lift 44. I think these are 18 wides. Normally you'd be on 16 wides. But what a monster of a truck. This truck has a LS 408, I believe, stroker motor. It's got the Davis off-road steps, the track bar, a few other things that we got to change, a few other things we got to improve upon, but it's going to be pretty cool. And as I promised y'all, you're going to see this truck doing some burnouts on some 44s. Going to do it. Don't know that we'll do it in the next couple of days because we got a little behind and we want to get to this event this weekend. And I just want to showcase a 1.0, a 2.0, a similar to 3.0, not exactly 3.0, but size-wise 3.0, and then a few other really cool vehicles. So we got the 1-ton swap Jeep up here that we sold a few years back. That's getting some service and maintenance on its, I always tell people yearly you should bring a vehicle in for a retorque, a grease, a check over. It's well worth the few bucks it costs. They're busy as can be, getting stuff knocked out. One of our very, very good customers, Mr. Hayslip's truck here, getting some finishing touches, some new items. Grandpa Special, getting ready to not look like Grandpa Special any longer. Excursion, getting a front drive shaft. This one, no, he's coming in the next couple of days, but he doesn't really want the truck to be on, so quick tease. All right, that's enough. But sitting beside it is what was a two-wheel drive that I'll get Brian and Daniel to do a thorough video on for you guys. But this was a two-wheel drive. This is a crew cab short bid converted truck. They didn't ever make a crew cab short bid, but it now has 2.0, 16 wides, 40 boggers, Fox shocks with reservoirs, steering, track bar, diff covers, sourced a 1-ton front axle, transfer case, transmission, everything modified to be four-wheel drive. This truck also, because it was a true lowrider, had a C-notch in the frame, which they fabricated and replaced the metal that was missing and made that work. The truck is on no block, as you'll see. And I don't want to go over too closely because I want you guys to have the full video with all the technical specs. This truck's also getting a monster motor under the hood. Bonus cab, I've never seen that emblem before. Most time it says 3+3, but heck, it matches the colors freaking perfect. So Daniel and Brian do a full video on that one very soon. We'll bring that to y'all. It's a patina truck. It's going to probably stay patina, but it's a rock solid body. A few other trucks in for some maintenance, lift kits and other things. That's it for right now.